Welcome to Workday Compensation, Hire and Rehire. In this session, we'll review the proposed compensation hire business process and assess differing compensation defaulting behaviors when hiring new and rehiring former employees. The proposed compensation hire business process functions as a sub-process within larger staffing transactions. It is only available for use with the hire employee, add additional job, and start international assignment business processes. Compensation defaulting occurs when the initiation step of the proposed compensation hire business process triggers. This step enables the system to evaluate eligibility and default compensation components according to your compensation structure. Depending on security permissions and business process configurations, compensation partners and managers may have the ability to review and modify compensation during the transaction. You may also have additional approval steps required within the proposed compensation hire sub-process. Next, let's talk about how this process behaves when you're rehiring an employee. When we rehire a former employee, Workday triggers the same proposed compensation hire business process as it does when hiring a new employee for the first time. However, when the step triggers for a rehire, some historical data populates into the transaction at the time of initiation. Workday will also remove any previous and no longer eligible components during this step of the transaction. Let's review the differences in the proposed compensation hire business process initiation step by hiring one new and one former employee into Global Modern Services. Meet Brian Sullivan, the HR partner for the Field Sales North America Group Supervisory Organization. At the request of the department's manager, Angela Bianchi, Brian has initiated the hiring process for two available regional sales manager positions. The first hire transaction is for Jackie Wilson. Jackie will serve as the new full-time regional sales manager in Vancouver. The second hire transaction is for a former worker, Neil Patel. Neil was formerly the regional sales manager in London and is now relocating to Calgary and taking on a new position. Both of these transactions are ready for a compensation partner to review and submit proposed compensation. Meet Deborah Simpson, the compensation partner for the Field Sales North America Group Supervisory Organization. Now, Deborah will demonstrate how to manage and complete the proposed compensation hire sub-process. Deborah has two tasks awaiting her action. The first task is the proposed compensation hire step for Jackie's hire event. In this example, Jackie is a new hire, so Workday evaluates eligibility and automatically populates the compensation components Jackie is eligible for. Deborah can make changes, update salary, hourly, or other plan amounts, then submit the task. The second task is the proposed compensation hire step for Neil Patel's hire event. Neil is a former employee, so the page displays information differently. In this example, Neil's historical compensation data populates in each applicable section. However, Workday re-evaluates eligibility for Neil's new worker data, including the organization, position, and location. As a result, Workday automatically populates new compensation components Neil is now eligible for, while removing components he is now ineligible for. Deborah can make changes, update salary, hourly, or other plan amounts, then submit the task. Both Jackie and Neil's hire events will go through additional hire transaction steps until they reach a complete status. The compensation partner's work here is done. In this session, we've reviewed how a compensation partner proposes compensation for new hires and rehires. We also assessed the difference in compensation defaulting behaviors. Thank you for taking the time to learn with Workday.